everybody. A week or so back we did our twisted version of the Cabin Fever Challenge with a 1961 BSA Meteor Mark 1 air rifle at 6 yards here in the indoor range. Just to have a bit of fun. It was an average attempt, I suppose. But now we're more or less set up. I've got a bucket as we speak, but we're set up to have a go at possibly 2 divisions properly. The first one is Division 3, manual repeaters, and we're going to be using my 1916 Enfield No.1 Mark 3 or Smle. Now she's been a bit problematic of late, and a bit longer than late, because it's been a while since I took her out and I was having trouble with the feeding of the cartridges. Now the last time out, which was quite a while back, I was having feed issues. Basically the bolt face was missing the rim of the cartridge, then catching the side of the cartridge, pushing it forward at halfway, but then effectively forcing it back down towards the front of the magazine really. Now I did inquire, and thanks very much to Jonathan at the Royal Armouries for his advice, and also Rob on the British Muzzleloaders channel. With me not having another magazine at the time to compare it with, I hadn't got any real idea of any issues. There was nothing obvious. There's the things like a weak spring, that does spring to mind, pardon the pun. This is the original magazine that goes with the rifle, which I want to keep. I replaced the magazine with a new to me spring and follower, and it's for a start, at least this follower is still secured to the spring, whereas the one that was in it when I took it apart, that was found to be absolutely disconnected from it. It was also bent up at the front, right where the nose of the cartridge goes. But when you look at the lips, it looks okay to me, but potentially 108 years old. So by luck more than judgment, I just put a general search in for Enfield rifle magazines and came up straight away with a brand new made version. I don't know where they're made itself, that could be made here in England, but they are available from places in Nottingham, the link's down below. And I have now got a completely new magazine with a brand new spring. Needless to say, the spring is a lot smoother. The whole mechanism, if you like, is smoother, and the spring is a little stronger. Not a massive amount, but a little stronger. So my first thought is that the original spring was pretty much had it, and of course it come apart, the follower come off. And this new spring, which is obviously probably almost as old as the one that I took out, isn't much cop either. Now I might consider trying to retemper those springs, but I'll have to do a bit of research on that. The other option is to buy another magazine of the new variety, the brand spanking new made variety, and take the spring out of that and put it in the old mag, thus keeping most of it original. Now the challenge itself is officially an 8-inch target at 100 metres. Any shots on the black count, any shots splitting the outer line of the black count, anything that missed the black bit does not count. There are 4 positions, 5 shots at each position. So to have a chance, and I don't suppose I'm going to get up very high in the league table, but to have a chance I needed some chargers. Now this is a Lee Enfield, so these are chargers. They're not the best design. They weren't the best when they were brand new. I bought 5 off eBay. 3 are pretty good. 2 are useless. They need a bit of fettling, and they look like they've maybe been trod on a bit. They're not quite square at the channel section, if you like. But these 3 work okay. I've cleaned them up. I've put a bit of lube in the corners, but with the brass cases you shouldn't really need lube anyway. But they do seem to hold the cartridges well, and generally they seem to load okay. Now I've never used these in anger, so we shall no doubt have a little bit of fun. If needs be, I shall have to single load, but we'll take that as it comes on the day. So it's 100 metres range, 8-inch target, 5 shots in 4 different positions, reloading 5 shots between each of those positions, which are 5 shots standing, and you start with 5 shots in the rifle, and the timer starts from when you take your first shot. Then it's kneeling, 5 shots prone, and 5 shots sitting. There's a bit of a formula to work out your time, but we'll do that at the end. Now, ever since I've had this No.1 Mark III, which is a few years now, it's always shot low and right, with the rear sight at its lowest setting, and shooting at, I think, a 10-inch black circle, something like that. It's always shot a couple of inches outside the black area at about 4 o'clock. So I've had to aim roughly at about 10 o'clock outside that black circle. Now, I may try adjusting the sight, but when I bought this rifle, the sight adjuster clamps are sort of like a double-sided mini G clamp, if you like, for this No.1 Mark III, or these, were quite readily available. And then I thought, oh, I'll get one whenever, and then I didn't, and now I can't. But the ones for the No.4 Lee Enfield are available, and they're quite reasonable, about 30 quid. Whether they can be used on the No.1 Mark III, I don't know. Of course, you have to remove the nose cap off the Mark III, the No.1 Mark III, which is just 2 screws. Well, I've had a go at adjusting the front sight. No chance. I can't tell whether there's a very tiny small screw holding the sight in place, or it's a pin, maybe a roll pin or something like that. It's very hard anyway. The smallest screwdriver I've got is I don't know, 1 mil wide, and that's too big. I'll get it partially in, but no manoeuvre on the pin or fixing of whatever kind it is. So we're going to have to hold off. Let's get to the range.